Got your notebooks ready, pencil, pen, phone silent mode, away from distractions, water bottle with you. Importantly, Bhagavad Gita, wherever we have extra reading, then we can quickly open and read. Okay, please have your past notes with you. So we will have recaps. So you will be very quick to answer the questions. Okay, we shall begin. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Ki Jai. Before that, we have to offer our prayers to spiritual teachers. Those who can recite from your side, please join me because we need to invoke the blessings of our spiritual teachers so that we can understand the class. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatavine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Everyone, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama
Rama, Hare Hare.
That's it. Thank you, everyone. Okay, can we have somebody to start the class by reading the first slide, understanding of Gita? Okay, let me go from the first name that I have here, Vijay Bharat Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
The speaker of Bhagavad Gita is Lord Sri Krishna. He is mentioned on every page of Bhagavad Gita as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. Of course, the word Bhagavan sometimes refers to any powerful person or any powerful demigod, and certainly here Bhagavan designates Lord Sri Krishna as the great personality. But at the same time, we should know that Lord Sri Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, as it's confirmed by all great acharyas, spiritual masters like Sankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarkar Swami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many other authorities of Vedic knowledge in India. The Lord himself also established himself as the supreme personality of Godhead in the Bhagavad Gita, and he is accepted as such in the Brahma Samhita and all the Puranas, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Bhagavata Purana, Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam. Therefore, we should take Bhagavad Gita as it is directed by the personality of Godhead himself.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so we have covered this word Bhagavan in our level 1. Of course, here it is mentioned the Bhagavan can be referred to any powerful person or any powerful devas. Like we also have heard Surya Bhagavan, Garuda Bhagavan. Okay, we are referring them in a very powerful position. But the Bhagavan, the actual definition given by, anybody recall who actually given the definition of Bhagavan? Is a Muni. We learned this, it's in Vishnu Purana. What is who gave the definition of Bhagavan? Somasundram Prabhu, do you remember?
Sorry, Mataji, I just got everything done. Speaker was not working. I didn't hear anything. Anything, Mataji?
Oh, no, okay, I'm asking. Okay, can you see the slide, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, can you see the word Bhagavan here? Do you remember in level 1, we did a little coverage on Bhagavan. What does Bhagavan means and who gave the definition of Bhagavan and the Purana's name? Do you recall any of those info? Does it ring any bell to you, Prabhu? What
Bhagavan,
is
the supreme personality of Godhead.
Okay, so what does Bhagavan means? It's combination of two words, Bhaga and Van. What is Bhagavan? Or
Not sure,
who?
Mataji.
Okay, no problem, Prabhu. Anybody else? Kritika Mataji. Kritika Mataji said Parasara Muni. Okay, so what does Parasari Muni say?
Hi Krishna Mataji.
Mataji?
He said something like have 6 powers or 6 opulences.
Yes, one who possesses 6 opulences or all opulences. Okay, right. Thank you, Mataji. So Bhagavan means somebody who possesses all opulences. So generally, the all opulences are broadly categorized into 6. Can anybody tell me what are all those 6 opulences? Can I recall from now, every now and then?
Knowledge.
Okay, very good. Knowledge, full in knowledge. Not little bit of knowledge, full of knowledge.
Mataji, it's beauty.
Sorry, Mataji.
Beauty.
Beauty, yes. Knowledge,
And then fame.
fame,
Strength.
strength. Okay. So you have given 3.
3.
Yeah, very good, Mataji. Who else can give me the rest? What did Mataji miss? So knowledge, beauty, fame, strength. Somasundram Prabhu, no, do you recall now? No? Who else? Jai Shri Mataji? Let's speak. Is it a bit low today? Belum masuk the topic. Recap pun belum start lagi. Okay, so
Renunciation.
Kaya Mataji?
Renunciation.
Renunciation. Okay. Somebody forgotten wealth. Okay, wealth, huh? All right, so I think we have all 6. Okay, we have some answers in the chat box as well. Dasradan Prabhu, Kritika Mataji, thank you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, very good. Okay, so those who forgot, please write it down. Okay, it's very important because every page Krishna is mentioned as Bhagavan, and what is the importance of we referring him to as Bhagavan. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so that's one, and then the supremacy of Krishna as Bhagavan has to be mentioned, declared by Krishna, mentioned in Shastras, and agreed by the authorities. The high authorities also mentioned here. Okay, and what kind of scriptures? Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is praised by Lord Brahma. Okay, recently in our level 3, we did entire topic based on Brahma Samhita, how Lord Brahma glorified Krishna, and other information, how the creation came into place and all that. Okay, so that was level 3, week 24, I think. All right, okay, Bhagavatam is called also a Purana. Okay, so therefore the conclusion on this slide is for today is we have to take Bhagavad Gita as directed by the personality of God himself. When he says surrender unto me, so literally we take it as surrender unto me, not the soul inside him or the self inside him or the supreme inside him. No, because we have seen this kind of interpretation. So we don't want to interpret beyond Krishna's words. Just take Krishna's words as it is. Okay, so only when the part that we are not able to understand, we seek guidance of spiritual authorities, but otherwise we do not try to interpret Krishna's words. Okay, so when he says surrender unto me, surrender unto me, not surrender into the soul in me or the soul that I am serving, not like that. Okay, so that is just one example why Prabhupada always say take the medicine as prescribed by the doctor. Okay, so with that we are entering chapter 2, part 2. Okay, which yoga we covered in the first part of Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 last week?
Karma Yoga.
Karma Yoga. Did we enter Karma Yoga?
Sankhya Yoga.
Yeah, Sankhya Yoga. But we did something on karma, but it is not yoga. What did we do?
Bhakti.
Tadu, belum. Bhakti, long way to go some more. Karma Kanda.
Karma
Yes,
Kanda.
correct. Okay, what does Kanda mean? What does Kanda mean? Karma, we
Work.
know it's work. Yeah, karma is work, activities, actions, and all that. Kanda? Very good. Kanda means activities performed according to the Vedas. Activities, yeah. Okay. Right. Enjoying the fruit of the activities performed based on the Vedas, how it has been prescribed, not according to our whims. Okay. So I want to give you a comparison between what we have covered in level 1 and what we're going to cover in level 2. So until 237, we covered in part 1. The rest of it here, we're going to cover in part 2. So you can see this part here in level 1, we only covered 3 verses. But here we have 6, 7, 8. So we have extra verses to cover. Some of it will be revised as well. We will be refreshing those as well. Okay. So here we're going to look at after Jnana. Jnana is the Sankhya Yoga section. We have done this and Krishna says, fight, because the body is not destroyed. The body is destroyed. The soul is not destroyed. So fight. They are going to get new bodies. Okay. If you think there is no enjoyment after you win, it is not right, because if you lose or die, you are going to go to heaven and enjoy. If you win, you're going to enjoy the kingdom here. So either way, you are going to enjoy. So this is Krishna's teaching based on fruitive activities. Okay, but Krishna does not stop there. He brings Arjuna a little higher to Buddhi Yoga. So let's see the difference here. Okay, before that, as usual, we need to recap. This is what we covered in the beginning of the chapter 2, Arjuna's doubts, reasons, confusion, and surrender. So this is where we covered all the sesti reasons, his symptoms. Okay. All right. So what happens here? What is the turning point here? What happens here when Arjuna surrenders that he's not able to decide?
Change your relation to Guru to
Okay. Correct.
disciple.
From what to what, Prabhu?
From friends to Guru and disciple.
Very good. Change of relationship to Guru and disciple. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. That's the Prabhu. And then we went to the study. The difference between soul and the body. So what knowledge is that? That is Sankhya
Soul is
Yoga.
just,
Very good. Yes, Prabhu? Can you tell me?
there's no death for soul.
Very good. Yes. What does the soul do, Prabhu?
Soul change body from one another.
Okay, it changes the body at death. So it's called transmigration. Okay, so this is where Krishna refutes the first reason that Arjuna gave. Compassion is refuted because there is no death for the soul. So fight. So it is also meaningless to save the dress of a drowning man. You need to save the soul, not the dress. Okay, compassion should be given to the soul, not to the body of the man who is drowning, not to the coat that he's wearing. Okay, and then next, Krishna went to refute the second reason through karma kanda. You die in the battlefield, you go to heaven, you win, you enjoy your kingdom. So this way, enjoyment and sinful reaction is refuted. So sinful reaction is actually refuted. We didn't cover this, but the verses that Krishna used to refute the sinful reaction is from 2.33 to 37. Okay, it is not covered in level 2 for some reason. So who has Bhagavad Gita in your hand? I would like to request your assistance to read text 33. 33 to 37, just read one go. Yes, Mataji.
I'll read, Mataji.
Ranjani Mataji. Okay, 33 to 37, yeah?
37. Okay. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. 34. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Text 35. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. Text 36. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Text 37. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight.
Okay, thank you so much,
Krishna
Madam.
Mataji.
Here, Krishna concluded that Arjuna should fight based on by refuting the reason, compassion, and loss of enjoyment and sinful reaction. So if you look at your Bhagavad Gita text 33, Krishna says, if you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, because Arjuna thinks by doing the killing, he is incurring sinful reactions. But Krishna is saying, this is being done under my direction. All right. So if you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties, thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So the sinful reaction for Arjuna will not come by killing. The sinful reaction for Arjuna will come if he does not kill. Okay, by not doing duty. So here Krishna refutes the reason of sinful reactions. Okay, so we're going to move on. Yeah. We have done this. So Krishna says, perform your duty, gain material enjoyment, and so fight. Okay, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. Okay, so we have covered that. Yeah. Okay, just take a look. So I hope you remember this. All right, and then we are going into chapter 2. So we have done this, we have done this, we've done this. We are going into this Buddhi Yoga. Now Krishna is going to say the difference between Karma Kanda and Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga can be related to Karma Yoga. It can be related to Bhakti Yoga. Okay, Prabhupada in many places, he has linked Buddhi Yoga to Karma Yoga, and he also linked to Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so it's just a thin line, but it's about the same. All right. Finally, Samadhi. Samadhi is the person who has transcendental consciousness. So he is not in the mode of ignorance or passion or goodness. He is somebody called Sthigna Prajna, means he is a stable-minded person. So Arjuna will ask, what does a person in the transcendental consciousness platform behave? How does he speak? How does he walk? What does he do? You know, this kind of question Arjuna will ask and Krishna will explain. So our chapter 2, part 2 today will be covering these two, yeah? Okay, so we have done last week Sankhya Yoga, analytical study, descriptive knowledge of the soul and the body. Karma Yogi, yes, we are entering there. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, a person who practices Karma Yoga is called Karma Yogi. We are entering now Buddhi Yoga. So Buddhi Yoga, you see Lord Hanuman is here. So basically this is talking about serving, okay? Here is knowledge. Okay. All right. So this Buddhi Yoga, right? Okay, wait. Right, this Buddhi Yoga is actually, basically it's working in Krishna consciousness. When do you realize this? Is when you work without attachment to the fruitive results. Okay, so this is where we are fixed on the conception of our real self. The self is not the self that the body, the self is the soul. Okay, so Buddhi Yoga means working in Krishna consciousness, totally devoting ourselves in the service of Krishna. It could be working for Krishna, or it could be serving Krishna in pure bhakti. Okay, so this one we will, I'm sure you can see as we go further into Bhagavad Gita, more information will be revealed on the devotional service. So now we are still in the beginning stage. Krishna is still taking us baby steps. Okay, so Buddhi Yoga. Okay, I will repeat, yeah. The compassion, the reason for compassion, Krishna refuted in our earlier class, 2.11 to 2.30. Okay, after that, Krishna refuted loss of enjoyment and then sinful reactions. So now Krishna is going to use Buddhi Yoga to refute destruction of family tradition. So I hope you can actually see the flow, how Krishna is refuting one by one. Okay, so we can start by reading the verse. Let me call the name based on the list I have here. Ganesha Prabhu. Can you read the English for us, please? So whoever, I would like to request one thing, you know, when in our meetings in office, right? When you're going to step out, right? What do? I'm stepping out for a while. I'm back. so that whenever our names are called, the instructor will know, the facilitator will know that the person is there or not on the other side, because we are not having our videos on, so we don't know. So I think we also can do that. If you're going to step out and come back, you can just put a private message to me. I'm going to step out for a while and come back. So I wouldn't be calling your name in between. All right. So otherwise, we will be waiting. Okay. Unless you have audio problems. So that is okay. It's understandable. Okay. So Ganesha Prabhu, are you there?
Yeah. Lord Krishna said, thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytic study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Prata, when you are act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of work.
All right. Thank you, Prabhu. So you have seen this word so many times, right? Ever since we start our level 1 also. So I hope right now you know, when I say Sankhya Yoga, you know already what are we talking about. Okay, it is an analytical study, analytical study on the nature of body and soul. So when I say Sankhya Yoga, immediately something comes to your mind is body versus soul. You should know already. Okay, body means it's destructible, soul is not, and all the characteristics all should come bombarding in your mind already. Okay, so Krishna said, so far I have given you this analytical study. Okay, now I am going to, okay, also after analytical study, Krishna talk about karma kanda, which means when you do something, you get some enjoyment. Okay, so which means there is a fruit or result out of something that you're doing, and you are allowed to enjoy it. So Krishna initially spoke in that segment. Okay, I mean, from in that angle to Arjuna, but now he's telling, now I teach you how to do your work, but not to enjoy the fruit. Can you see the difference? I want you to see the difference. Yeah, earlier was karma kanda. Do the activity, enjoy the fruit. Win or lose, you are entitled to the result. All right. Now I'm going to teach you how to do work without the result. Okay. Who would want to work without a result? Why would we want to do something knowing that we are not going to get any result? Why would we want to waste our time? So it is not that you are not going to get the result. You will get the result, but you don't want to claim the result. You don't want to be attached to the result. When you do something, you are just doing your duty, but the consciousness is not attached to the result that you're going to get. Okay, I am going to do this in the hope of I'm going to get name, fame, and glory. No, I'm going to do this because I've been instructed to do so. It's a duty that I need to fulfill, and it purifies me, it purifies my senses. Okay, so the result, whatever the result is, I am going to be detached from it. Okay, where the result is going, that is next. Later we will come to that. Right now, Krishna is telling, work without fruitive result, free yourself from the bondage of work. Very important. Okay, this is how our journey is slightly changing here. Okay, so when you do this, Krishna is saying, you do not get reactions from the work. Okay, so when we apply this knowledge, when we treat our consciousness this way, we won't be affected or entangled by the work. You can actually test and see. You can actually, almost all of us are working, right? You can test and see. You do your work and you're not worried or anxious about the result. So how do you feel? Whether the result good or bad, whether it's affecting you or not. Okay, so we proceed, yeah? Okay, what is this? This is Buddhi Yoga, fight but without any reaction. So the application is, here jnana is used as a basis to perform duty and not used to renounce duty. Okay, this is very important. Krishna is not saying don't do your duty. He says do your duty. The only difference is what is your approach towards the result. That is only the difference, as against Arjuna's desire to renounce duty based on jnana. So earlier, Arjuna was thinking, oh, if killing is wrong, okay, you want me to avoid abominable activities. Therefore, I want to avoid killing. So Arjuna had that knowledge that you have to avoid abominable knowledge. But how did he apply? By thinking that this can be resolved by me not fighting. It's not that way. Okay, so Krishna is correcting, it is not by you renouncing your duty, it's by renouncing your result of performing the duty. Okay, so two different things. So let me put that in perspective. Yeah, Karma Kanda and Buddhi Yoga. Karma Kanda and Buddhi Yoga both requires work, What do we get in Karma Kanda and what we get in Buddhi Yoga? What we get in Karma Kanda when we perform work? Anyone?
Karma means action has consequences.
Okay, very good. So when we perform work under Karma Kanda, what do we get?
The result, the fruit result.
Result. Very good. Okay, fruitive reaction. Very good. All of you are correct. Okay, Buddhi Yoga speaks about Krishna consciousness. Your consciousness is on Krishna, not on the result. So it's being Krishna consciousness. Okay. Hold on, yeah. Okay, next. We always want to aim something. In Karma Kanda, our aim is to satisfy our senses. Okay, satisfy our senses. In Buddhi Yoga, the satisfaction is for Krishna's senses. Okay, here we are satisfying our senses. There, we are satisfying Krishna's senses. That's second difference. The result. What is the result of Karma Kanda? Remember just that verse that we did earlier. What is the verse that we just did? What's the verse number? Who recalls? Who remembers? 39, right? Buka 39. Eventually, what Krishna is saying. Yes.
Bondage.
Correct. Thank you so
You
much.
can free from bondage.
Yes, Mataji, please repeat.
You can free yourself from the bondage of works.
Okay, now my question. We are going to talk about the result of Karma Kanda and Buddhi Yoga. Now, what will be the result of Karma Kanda and what will be the result for Buddhi Yoga? Based on that last line that Krishna said. What do you get in Karma Kanda? By referring to the word bondage, yeah? Who can actually, decode that for us? I'm sure there are so many geniuses out there. If you can word it out, right, it will be easy for you to understand. That's why I'm asking you not to test your knowledge. So we are talking about bondage. Okay. Super. Very good, Mataji. Okay, Jai. Okay, so the result in Karma Kanda is the bondage to your work, whereas in Buddhi Yoga, it gives us liberation because we are not attached to the result. Okay, so I give you a little break by giving you a story. Okay. Okay, Mataji, maybe you can reconnect. You log out and come in back and see how it goes. Okay, come fast. We are going to tell story. Okay, so there is the story. Actually, Krishna always like to give lessons for his devotees. So Narada Muni has asked Krishna one time, why these Radharani and Gopis are very dear to you? Why you love them so much? All right, and they're very simple people, and compared to all these people who are engaged in acquiring knowledge about you, why you still love them so much? So one day Krishna decided to perform a pastime. So this is called pastime where Krishna Krishna is having okay, I can hear myself. So I think you have to mute one device, I think. Okay, right. So Krishna said he has a headache, and Narada Muni asked, what can I do? I need dust from the feet of my devotees and apply on my head, and then my headaches will be gone. Then Narada Muni thought, okay, Krishna has so many wives here in this Dwaraka palace. Let me go and ask them. Okay, they all will die for their husband, right? So he went and asked from the queens. Krishna is sick. He has high fever and headache. The only medicine is the dust from the feet of Krishna's devotees, and he will be cured immediately. So can you give me the dust from your feet? He asked the queens. Can you all guess what the queens would have said to Narada Muni? What would have been their reaction?
They didn't accept it.
They didn't want to give. Why?
Because there will be it's considered those days like very disrespectful, I guess.
Yeah, very disrespectful, right? So what are you saying, Narada Muni? Krishna is our revered husband. How can we go give a dust from our feet and go to hell? No, no way, we cannot give. So they did not give. And then Narada Muni went to the gopis. He went to the gopi and said, Krishna is having headache. The only medicine is the dust from your feet. Immediately, all the gopis took the dust from under their feet and collected and gave it to Narada Muni. So Narada Muni asked them, aren't you afraid that you will go to hell by giving this dust to put on Krishna's forehead? And then the gopis said, if it is meant to treat Krishna's headache, we don't even mind going to hell, right? So here, they are more focused on doing that work that satisfies Krishna. They don't care about the result that they're going to get. All right, of course, they won't go to hell. Okay, this is pastime that Krishna performed to show Narada Muni who is the greatest devotee. And number two, how are we not supposed to attach the result by executing the orders of Krishna? Okay, so this is a very short story. Yeah. Okay, so now we are moving to another segment. Now, why Krishna said Buddhi Yoga is better than Karma Kanda? In Karma Kanda, you are granted with various material enjoyments. Okay, can you see this picture here? What is this? Loss. This is going down. I don't know why this picture of, oh yeah, okay, I get it now. All right, so this is loss. When you attain some material enjoyments at the end of your life, do you take it with you? No. So the moment you take another birth, you have to start from scratch. Hold on, yeah. Okay, just give me a second. Somebody wants to move. Okay, so here Krishna is saying the difference between the result that you get from Karma Kanda and the result that you're going to get from Buddhi Yoga is different. Now we want to see what is the difference. Okay, can we have somebody to read? Okay, let me call ya. We have done. Jaishini Mataji, is your audio okay?
Yep. Can you hear me, Mataji?
Now clear.
All right. Thank you, Mataji. Oh, sorry. Right. Text 40. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear.
Okay, thanks, Mataji.
Thank you,
So,
Mataji.
like I mentioned, if you have material wealth in your hand, when we die, we are not going to take it with us. However, Krishna said this Buddhi Yoga, there is no loss or diminution. How is that possible? Because it is spiritual, therefore the impression will be on your soul forever. So if you finish your life with a little bit of spiritual advancement at 5%, when you're going to come back, you're going to start from 5.1% or 6%. So this is why Krishna said, it will save us from the dangerous type of fear. What is the most dangerous type of fear? Generally, we will all know the fear that we all have is taking rebirth and going through this birth, death, disease, and old age, the pain, right? These real problems of life in the material world. But why Krishna said the most dangerous type of fear? Mahatobhaya. Maha always means big. Why? Who can tell me? So this is the answer later. I will tell.
Danger, afraid of death.
We all will die, Prabhu. We all will die. Whether fear or not, we will die. What else? Talking about this little advancement on this path can protect us from the most dangerous of fear.
Karma, afraid of karma, that we will be rebirth as an animal or something.
Say again, Prabhu.
Afraid of that we will rebirth as animals or more.
Okay. Anybody else? Fear of karmic reactions? Yes. Okay. What else? Endless cycle. Yes. The endless cycle is what I see as a fear. But when Krishna says most dangerous type of fear, what is that? And if I want to, if I may go a little bit further to drill this question, right? Why it is the most dangerous type of fear? Why?
Suffering.
Suffering of what, Prabhu?
What will suffer on next birth?
Okay, okay. Okay, very interesting, huh? Okay, fear of forgetfulness of God. Well, very good. We are getting some answers there. Later, I put it all together. So we have fear, and we have most dangerous type of fear. And so we have this boy who is in fear. Oh my God, what will happen? All right. And then we have an elephant picture here. Okay, so we are all pretty clear. Okay, we are very clear that whatever material enjoyment that we get from our karma kanda executions, we are not going to take it with us. And we are also very clear that whatever advancement that we are going to get in spiritual path is what going to carry us to the next birth. Now, what are we being saved from? Number one, okay, we may get another birth. Okay, depending on our karmic reactions. Okay, here Krishna did not say that you will end the cycle. Later on in chapter 8, all Krishna will say how to end this cycle. But right now, Krishna is talking about saving us from the most dangerous type of fear. So the most dangerous type of fear is falling into the animal kingdom. Okay, so Prabhu was right. Being born as an animal is the most dangerous type of fear. So there must be a reason why this is called the most dangerous type of fear. Okay, somebody has mentioned fear of forgetfulness on God. That's correct, because you cannot teach devotional activities to animals. Generally speaking, of course, we have exceptional cases where cows circumambulate tulsi plant, cows sitting in Bhagavatam class, dog taking part in Harinam on the street. So we have exceptional cases, right? So the fear of forgetfulness on God, fear of not knowing devotion, fear of not knowing why we are here, why we are taking this transmigration. They don't know anything. All right. So the moment we go into the animal kingdom, back on that autopilot mode, you have to go through the evolution on its own. However, when we are here in this human birth, we can make the change. We can make a conscious decision whether we want to go upward or downward. So this advancement that you are going through now, right? You are learning Bhagavad Gita, I hope you are making some changes in your devotional practice at home. So all these are little advancements that you are making. And because of you, your family, your children also will benefit. Your parents also will benefit. The ancestors, okay, your descendants, your family lineage also will benefit. So we are promised by Krishna that we will not fall into animal kingdom, because once you go there, it's very difficult to come out. Okay, it's going to take a long time. We don't know how long we have spent, our soul has spent transmigrating, coming here. Okay, and somehow Krishna's mercy, we are getting this knowledge. Not everybody will get this knowledge, right? Remember, there are 400,000 species of human. So we are fortunate to have this opportunity by learning this information. So we don't want to go back. All right. So this is a very important verse, and I like this verse very much. This is a verse where we can reach out to people and tell very little things. Just come take little bit prasadam. Just offer ghee lamb to Lord Krishna during this Purushottama month. Just sing some bhajan. Just come and hear some katha about Krishna. This is the little advancement. Okay. All right. So it goes a long way. Yeah, it goes a long way. So the fear is taking birth and death continuously. The most dangerous fear is birth in lower species. It's difficult to come up. Okay. So this is an example, like we can attain material education, but at the end of the life, and we are taking at the end of life, all this will be ripped off from us. Okay. Next birth, we have to start from zero. We cannot say, I finished PhD in my last birth. Can I continue with my double PhD? No, you can't. You have to go to preschool, right? Same goes to, well, I have earned billions of money previously. It's in this bank account. Can I continue from there? No, okay, you can't do that. So the next time, the life begins again from scratch. You may have been a very important person. Okay, when you die, everything starts, everything ends, and then we take birth, everything begins again. So this is the nature of the material qualifications. Okay, they are just finished. When the body is finished, the material qualification finished. This is to show that the karma kanda knowledge that Krishna gave, even though it suited Arjuna for the enjoyment, but we should not stop there. Okay, so that's not the end of it. Okay. All right, so in this slide, let's say, okay, this is what I explained already. So in this slide, whatever little things that you do, in the next slide, you are going to continue. This is why sometimes you see some children, they can take up devotional activities very fast. They can immediately recite some verses. Okay, we have some story where the baby can sing Damodara Astakam very fast. Okay, and what else? They can sit quietly in the temple. They pay obeisance. They just absorb all your instructions very fast. They don't throw tantrum in praying. So they are very calm, very sattvic. So all these are impressions from the past life. So they are carrying on. Okay, some people from small, they can speak so well on Krishna consciousness. Okay, so this is definitely Neha Bikrama Nasosti. This is definitely the verse that Krishna said. Okay, this is the evidence. All right, that's why you can see some children, they are very pious from small. Okay, whereas adults will have difficulties to become pious because the sukruti that we have is not enough. Okay, however, spiritual qualification continues in the next slide from where it was left. I'm sure you would have seen it, but probably we always make a conclusion, oh, he's so lucky, maybe he had done a lot of good things in the past. Now, these are the good things that the person would have done in the past. This is in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so these are the evidence documented here. Okay, so you have, I hope you have a better clarity on how these kind of things work. Okay, so we move on, yeah. 2.46. Who can I ask? Oh, these are my senior students are all here. Okay, Kritika Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them.
Okay, so y'all understand, right? You can have one well to wash clothes, one well to cook, to take water to cook, one well to probably to water your plants, another well to I don't know, wash your house or something. But if you have gotten a huge reservoir of water, you can take the water from there and use for everything. Okay, you don't have to go and find different wells. So now the Vedas have so many purposes. It generally work towards fulfilling your desire is Artha, Kama, Moksha. One more. I don't know why I always don't get this for Artha, Kama, Moksha. Can anybody help to recall Artha, Kama, Moksha? Artha is
Moksha is last, Mataji.
Moksha is last. Artha, Kama. That's four. That's
Dharma, Mataji.
Sorry?
Dharma.
Dharma, yes. Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. So these are the four purposes of Veda. All right. However, if you know the person behind the Veda, then you know the entire purpose of the Veda, the goal of the Veda. And that's what it makes. That is the goal. Okay. So this is the purpose. Yeah. So actually, this one we can read together with the verse from chapter 15:15, whereby Krishna says, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Okay. So all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them, which means this entire Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha, if you know why they are there, the entire thing, the purpose for this entire thing, if you know, then you know everything. Okay, so it's like basically you are going through the Ashtanga Yoga steps. You are learning one by one after one. Then finally, you know the Samadhi is in being totally absorbed in the thoughts of Supreme God, which is the Bhakti Yoga. So if you know that, then you already know all these 8 steps already. So like that, if you know the purpose behind them, then you already know why the Vedas are there. And Krishna said, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. So if you put this and that together, 2.46 and 15:15 together, you will know what is the purpose or who is the person behind the Vedas. Okay, so let's.
In Ramayana, they got.
Yes, Prabhu?
they mentioned in Ramayana also, like Rama represent Dharma, Lakshmana represent Kama, and Shatrunga also represent the Artha, and Moksha is Bharata.
Oh, wow. Okay, very good. Very nice, Prabhu. This is something new. Thanks. Okay, yeah. So if you want to know what does Veda teach, Veda is basically a handbook. It has all kind of knowledge, economy, social, Ayurvedic, like this, yeah. Okay, chemical, military, religious, social, metaphysical, political, economic, medicinal, physical. So all this information are contained in the Vedas. So Veda is like the desire tree. You just have to open the Vedas and you have so many fields there. All right. The Vedas are compared to the desire tree because they contain all things knowable by man. They deal with mundane necessities as well as spiritual realization. So it actually supposed to take us gradually up. Above and beyond all these are specific directions for spiritual realization. Okay, this one I took from my youth's slide. So maybe there's a continuation to this. But what I want you all to see is these are the things that's covered by the Vedas. So it's basically a handbook. Okay, let me see what is here. Dhanur Veda was taught by Dronacharya with all its confidential secrets of throwing and controlling by Vedic hymns. Gross military science is dependent on material weapons. Okay, what do we understand from here? Did anybody watch Oppenheimer already? So, yeah. Okay, right. So the modern weapon is based on the power of the destruction how do you activate it? You use the buttons, right? And then you put in some molecule actions and everything, you use the button and then it blasts. But in those days, how they activate the weapon is by chanting the mantras. So this is the science that one of the sciences in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedas. Okay. Okay. Okay, what else? Okay, what else we have in Vedas? Medicinal uses of the plants. All right. Internal anatomy of the animal kingdom. Principles healing on which Ayurveda is based. Okay, so these are some of the information that we can find from Vedas. Yeah. Okay. All right, so all these are guidelines, right? But the person who is successful is the person who understands what is the final goal of this person. So you go by Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. Ultimately, it is guiding us to be liberated from this repeated cycle of birth and death. So in between, you are allowed to enjoy all this under regulated manner. So you can see that flow, right? Okay, this is an example just to show that in rupees 2000, you already have 10, 50, 100. So if you have 2000, you don't have to go and ask for 10, 50, 100 unless you need small changes. But the value is already there. Okay. The revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. So advancing in all these Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha, eventually you should come to revival of God consciousness. The liberation comes when you are conscious, your consciousness is detached from fruitive results. Okay, place yourself in Bhakti Yoga platform, and that is how we get liberated. We end the repeated cycle of birth and death. We stop our soul from transmigrating continuously. Okay, so that's just two segments. We have covered the Buddhi Yoga, and we see why Buddhi Yoga is important, because the advancement that we find on Buddhi Yoga, it goes on forever, okay? As opposed to Karma Kanda, okay? So we have done this, Jnana Yoga, okay, Karma Yoga. Okay, so you can follow from here. I do it very slow. Okay, we have done this last week. Jnana, body versus soul. Karma Kanda, fruitive actions. Two kinds of enjoyments, whether you win or you lose. Okay, Jnana Yoga is knowledge about body and soul. Karma Yoga, work without attachment to the result. But if you use that knowledge, your body and soul knowledge, and the importance of working without attachment to the result is Buddhi Yoga. Okay. Buddhi means intelligence. So you're using the intelligence that you got from Jnana, and you're doing the work from the karma, being detached from the result, and you know why. This is what Buddhi Yoga. Basically, it's detached from results and offer results to Krishna. Okay, first, again, yeah, in Karma Kanda, we are doing certain activities to enjoy. Okay, based on the prescriptions in the Vedas, we get to enjoy the results. Next, Karma Yoga, do the activities, but without being attached to the results. Okay, but when that result, you offer to Krishna, it becomes Buddhi Yoga. Okay, can follow? Okay, cool. Semua orang. Can I see
Yes,
something?
Mataji.
Mataji, can you repeat again?
Which one, Mataji? This plus this mathematic formula.
Yes, Buddhi Yoga part.
Okay, you have first Krishna gave knowledge, the differences between body and soul. Body destroys, soul goes on. Okay, so we know that we are higher than this body. And then in Karma Yoga, we are doing activities, but by not attaching our mind to the result. We just do our activity without being bothered about the result. All right, so basically it starts from detaching from results. However, when the result you offer to Krishna, not just detaching, but you offer to Krishna, that becomes Buddhi Yoga. So you're actually incorporating all these knowledges, Jnana Yoga plus Karma Yoga, that becomes Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi means intelligence. So you're using the intelligence from the Jnana and you're using the activity from the Karma, and you get Buddhi Yoga, which saves us from the most dangerous type of fear. One can work. Okay, Mataji, is it okay now?
Yes, Mataji, okay.
Okay, thanks, Mataji. Okay, one can work. We all are working. We cannot stay without working, right? One can work, but still remain free from bondage or works. Okay, so we cannot avoid work thinking that we can escape from the reaction. So that is not the fact of life. Okay, nobody could do that. All right. So what is the application here? Krishna, Arjuna is trying to ignore his duty to kill because he thinks his jnana means save everyone, but actually it is not. Inability to distinguish minor secondary duties from essential duties of pure devotional service creates a significant impediment to surrender. So if we are not clear, we are not able to surrender because we don't have the right, the clear knowledge. What are we supposed to do? So if you don't know, then we don't know what are we surrendering to. Okay, so all these karma kanda activities actually is to regulate our life, to purify us, eventually detach us and free us from the birth of cycle and death. Okay, so now the purpose of the Vedas, the different purpose of the Vedas, all of it put together. Remember how I explained the Astanga Yoga? You straight go to the Bhakti Yoga step where you perform the Harinama Sankirtan. That is the best yagya from this Kali Yuga, for this Kali Yuga. It fulfills all the purposes of the Vedas. Okay, so this is the verse that we covered on the wells. With this, Krishna actually refuted the destruction of family traditions, because if you do this yagya, nobody is going to have destruction of family tradition. This will go on. This will go on. So why we don't have pure milk or pure brahmana or pure this or pure that? You do Sankirtan Yajna, the family tradition will go on. All the purposes recommended, all the benefits recommended by the, achievable by the Vedas is achieved by this. Okay, so this is the best way to revive Krishna consciousness through chanting of the holy name. Okay, why this? We have to bring in the defects of Kali Yuga. What are the defects of Kali Yuga? What are the qualities in Kali Yuga? Symptoms. We have done this in level 1 as well. Anybody can give me some symptoms of Kali Yuga, which makes that meditation, temple building, and deity worships all become secondary, which makes it impossible to perform by everyone. Quarrel, very good. Forgetfulness of God, yes, that's true. What else?
Lazy.
Lazy, yes. Greed, making mistakes. Yes, 4 defects.
Making making yagna not according to the Vedas.
Very good. Yes. Instruction not followed. The personalities performing the yagya not qualified. Okay, most population.
Materialistic,
Yes, Prabhu.
materialistic, materialistic is the topmost priority.
Correct. Yes. All right. And not qualified. Most population is foolish and not educated to understand Vedanta. Okay. So how much time you are putting in to learn Bhagavad Gita, and how much time that the priest would have put in to understand the entire Vedas, because we are putting our trust in them so that they can do the yagya for us. But how much time you are spending for them, the resources that we spend, time, energy, all the materials, you know, so we should get the result. But what is the guarantee that we are getting the ultimate result from that, the pure result from that? So might as well we just do our Sankirtana Yagya. Okay, because this doesn't need qualification. This doesn't need any pure materials. You don't need other people to come and do it for you. You can do it. We can do it ourselves. And then why Veda, study of Veda also impossible in this yuga is because it's difficult to process it. Okay, Vedic studies and rules and regulations are very difficult. There are certain schools and they don't come cheap, right? You have to stay there and go through certain, what do you call, the rigid lifestyle to learn it. So you can't do everything in the material world and then learn the Veda. It doesn't work like that. Okay, if it works, that I think it's very substandard quality. Okay, so we also wouldn't want to engage with somebody who has not learned the Vedas, who has learned Vedas in an imperfect way, and the practice of the Vedic knowledge is not reflected or demonstrated in their lifestyle. So what confidence does it give to us? All right, so this Sankirtana Yagya that we can do at home in our temple, even on the street, it fulfills the benefits that the knowledge of the Vedas give. Okay, so this is a bit more elaborated information on this. Okay, all right, so I hope everybody has started chanting at this point, at least one round. Yeah. Okay, so this is again, we're still continuing with the Buddhi Yoga, detachment on the results, detachment from the results. Okay, so Lakshmi Mataji.
Okay, text 47. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Very good. This is what also we did earlier, right? The sinful reactions comes when you do not do your duty, not when you do your duty. So again, Krishna is saying, don't be attached to the results of your actions, and also don't be attached to not doing your duty. Okay, so take a look. I read again, yeah, slowly. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you don't have the rights to the fruits of action. And never think that I am the doer. Because of me only this happened. All right. And never be attached to not doing your duty. I don't want to do duty. So Arjuna, initially he said that he doesn't want to do the duty, but he was not adamant that he doesn't want to do the duty. Finally, he said, I'm just not able to decide, Krishna. You tell me what to do. Okay. Right, so that is the fortunate situation of Arjuna, where he surrendered and let the teacher guide him. Okay, so this is a very famous verse from Bhagavad Gita. It's describing Karma Yoga. This is where you get some information about Karma Yoga. This is Karma Yoga. Do your duty, not attached to the result, and not attached to not doing your duty. Okay, your duty is to do this. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, do your duty, which means to fight. It is not wrong because it is your duty. All right, but you're not allowed to enjoy the fruits. Earlier in Karma Kanda, Krishna said you have that enjoyment, but Krishna wants something more for Arjuna, not just go to heavenly planets or just enjoy some earthly kingdom. Okay, so first Krishna went along Arjuna's way. But later, okay, this is right, but there is something better I want to give you. You know, that's how it works. Okay, so the result of the work belongs to Krishna. You are just being an instrument in Krishna's service. So this word, Krishna will tell eventually in Bhagavad Gita later, just be an instrument. I have done all the preparation. I have executed everything with you, without you, I am going to do it. But I want you to be an instrument in this service. That is the purpose. This is the entire plan of Krishna. Okay, so the work is done by Krishna. Okay, the next is not attached to do the duty. So do not be attached that way. You should say, you cannot say no. All right, you cannot say no, I'm not going to do it. So Krishna say, don't be like that. Okay, so this will be the proper consciousness. Okay, then we move on to 48. Okay, so here Krishna says, do your duty. All right, don't be attached to the result. So the question is, how am I supposed to do the duty but not attached to the result? Everybody does the duty by seeking some kind of result. So here Krishna is teaching how to do that. Okay. Manali Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Perform your duty, equipped, poised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga.
Okay, that such equanimity is called yoga. Thank you, Mataji. So now, how exactly are we going to do is this? When you achieve something great, you achieve something, you win something, what do we do usually? Tell me how you enjoy your achievements. Come share some. Yeah, celebrate. How we celebrate, or how our emotions will be.
We will take the whole victory by ourselves, Mataji.
Think, okay, it's all happened because of me, is it?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So thanks, Mataji. Okay, yeah, happy, accomplished, happy, proud. Yes. What else? Excited. What do you call? On top of the world, right? Yes. Has anyone not felt excited about the achievement or any winnings? You'll feel like, okay, this is just another day. Anyone? Come on, you can tell me. Party. Yeah, party, throw a party. Has anyone felt like that? Okay, it's just another day. No? That's why, yeah, no, all right. Okay, don't be surprised. There can be some people like that, you know. Recently, there's some achievement in my brother's company, and my uncles and my cousins all were posting in the groups, and they are talking great about it, you know. So we were congratulating. Then he said, oh, this is nothing, it happens every week. He said like that. Right, it's just that somebody happened to know about it and they broadcasted it. So he said, this is nothing, it happens every week or every month, something like that. Then I felt like, wow, he's so stable like that. Okay, yeah, that's good, we can think like that. Okay, now on the contra, when something bad happens, losses, what is your emotion? Maybe you can relate to something recently happened and you can share how you exactly felt. Lamentation. Yes, the thing would have happened 1 second, but we lament for a week. Sad, dejected, broken. Yes, we want to isolate ourselves. We want to process it ourselves. We don't want to talk to people. Yeah, it affects our self-esteem. That's true. Okay. And we always think, what they will think about me, right? Yeah. Yes, that's one thing. We always try to blame somebody. Tada dapat, blame God. That's true. I've seen that also. Somehow, some rather, we always want to throw some blame to someone. We don't want to take the accountability. Okay, when we win, we think that it's ours. When something goes wrong, we think it's not ours, it's somebody else. Okay, thanks, yeah, for sharing. Okay, now recently Guru Maharaj in one class, Guru Maharaj said, how to be steady is, okay, this is the fact. We have the tendency, once we get the good result, big profit, big win, we are so joyful. When we lose, we are so upset. Now, Krishna is saying here, equipoised. Equipoised means stable, right? Okay. When you abandon all attachment to success or failure, there is an equanimity. So meaning what? When you keep your mind detached, even when you succeed, you don't rejoice. The more steady we are when we have some great achievements. Okay, when we have great achievements, and if you are steady in that situation, when a low time comes, we will be steady also. Right? This is how the steady mind comes. It's not about forcing ourselves to be detached and sober when bad things happen. This has to be trained when we have good times. All right? Because our emotion goes so high, and then because of that, to that level, it goes low when we go low. Right? So Krishna is saying here, and Guru Maharaj also recently mentioned in the class, so when we are in high time, when we win something, so we have to be sober. So when depression comes, we will be sober as well. So you will realize that this exchanges, right, up and down, high and low, sad and happiness, it goes and come like changing seasons of summer and winter. Can we have somebody to read text 2.14, please?
I read, Mataji.
Okay,
Perform your duty is equipoised, or Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga.
No, Mataji, chapter 2, text 13, 14.
In
Not
Bhagavad Gita, is it?
Yes, from Bhagavad
Oh,
Gita.
sorry, I don't have Bhagavad Gita with me.
Okay, no problem. This one side. Anybody has Bhagavad Gita in your hand?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Vijay Prabhu.
O son of Kundi, there's non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, and their disciplines in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, ocean of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed.
Okay, so what did Krishna compare? Thank you, Prabhu. What did Krishna compare to happiness and distress?
It's like summer and winter season, not permanent.
Right. And why our reactions to this high and low time comes? Why? Krishna says it in text 14 as well. Anybody has text 14 can also look at it and tell me what's the answer. Why do we feel happy? Why do we feel sad? Where is it coming from?
Sense perception.
Yeah, sense perception. Very good. Because we perceive it that way. We perceive it, it's a happy thing. We perceive it as a sad thing. All right. So if it's just, okay, I've just done my duty. So, I mean, of course, that is the ultimate thing that we all, Krishna expecting us to do. So we all are work in progress. We can try towards that with small baby steps. Okay. So they arise from sense perceptions, and we must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. All right. Sometimes we get so excited, partying so much and enjoying, then we get drifted and diverted and probably will end up in issues. Okay. So the steadiness should be at all times. So how we should work. Okay, this is about how we should work. Yeah. And go to text 49. So this is a recap verse. Prasanna Mataji. Can read? Okay, Mataji. Mataji, can you be louder? We can't hear you. Still can't hear you, Mataji. You're like so far away. No. Are you using earphone? Is your PC connected to earphone? Okay, we can't hear you, Mataji. Maybe your connection from just now is like that, but you can hear me, yeah? Right, we can't hear you, Mataji. Okay, I just proceed to the next person. Yeah, so sorry, Mataji. Sasi Rekha Mataji. Sasi Rekha Mataji, you there? Okay, Mataji is not there. Dasaradan Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers.
Okay, misers, yeah. So here, Lord Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to just do the devotional service. Okay, of course, Arjuna's service is unusual. It's not something that we can do outside, go and killing people. So Arjuna's case is very different. He has to kill in the battlefield. Okay, his service is to fight a battle. But the point is he has to perform the devotional service to Krishna. Okay, so here surrender means do not think that we are enjoyer of the result. So that is surrender. So we have to work, but we have to work for the pleasure of Krishna. Remember the differences between Karma Kanda and Buddhi Yoga. On Karma Kanda, we are satisfying our senses. Buddhi Yoga, we are satisfying Krishna's senses. Okay, so these are pictures from Gurukul. The children and teachers are teaching and studying. This is cow farm. This is from, yeah, cow farm. And then there's hospital. Here, devotees are working in hospital. Okay, so this is, oh yeah, Bhaktivedanta Hospital. So they created school, farm, hospital in the name of Krishna. So these are all work in Krishna consciousness. Okay. These are the results of fruitive activities versus Buddhi Yoga. Okay, I think it's pretty straightforward. I will skip this. Okay. Practical application for this segment is once consciousness determines the bondage of activity, not the activity itself. So it's clear, right? One will remain free from bondage if his activities are guided by a conception of eternal spiritual self. So we have to follow the information that Krishna has been giving gradually from the beginning. The first understanding of our human existence is to understand that we are not the body, we are the soul. And then what makes us attached to this material world is that attachment that we have towards the result, and our activities is entangled in that lifestyle, and we are transmigrating forever and ever. Okay, to stop that, we have to reduce or gradually detach our consciousness from the result. Okay, so gradually we will be detached. Okay, and by detaching, it doesn't mean that we are not going to sit down idly and do nothing, but we are going to engage in devotional services and surrender the results to Krishna. There, you will not get good result or bad result. It is called akarma. So I hope you all remember that word akarma. Okay, no result, free from results. Okay, so this way, this is called nishkama karma yoga. Nishkama means no attachment to the result. This kind of karma yoga will release us from the bondage of fruitive action and reactions. Okay, we are still engaging our active senses. Okay, but the results we are not claiming. Okay, that's the importance. So finally, how much time we have? Okay, 50 minutes. The next segment is Arjuna is asking about how a person on the transcendental consciousness will behave like. Okay, can we have somebody to read text 53, which is going to open the segment for this transcendental consciousness. Text 53.
I can read, Mataji.
Okay, Jai Mataji.
When your text 53, when your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. When it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization. So, so why they say flowery language of the Vedas? Because the Vedas give you plenty of information how to enjoy the world. So when a person who is not attracted to this, he has come to the self-realization platform. Okay, and and he is said to have attained the divine consciousness. So it is important that you have your Bhagavad Gita with you, yeah, because we read from this verse directly from book as well. Okay, so now this is the opening, yeah, and then Arjuna asked this question. Okay, Sasirika Mataji, have you read Sivaranjani Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk?"
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So here Arjuna is asking Krishna, okay, Krishna, you spoke so much about Buddhi Yoga. So tell me, how does this person who has achieved Buddhi Yoga sit, how he stands, how he walks, what language he speaks? So here Krishna is going to give an example of by giving an example of a person who has done this. Okay. So there are 4 questions here. Please remember: symptoms, how does he speak, how does he sit, and how does he walk? Okay, so take note, Krishna will answer all of this. Okay, this is called transcendental consciousness. Okay, so basically the person who is placed on transcendental consciousness, he gives up material desires. Okay, how does he give up? By being idle? No, by complete engagement in Krishna consciousness. So this is Ambarisha Maharaj story. I hope you all remember the demon that came to attack Ambarisha Maharaj, and Sudarshana Chakra comes and chase. Immediately it killed the demon, but after that it chased the person who summoned the demon. Who is that? Who summoned the demon? Do you all know? Do you all remember the name? He's a Muni who gets angry.
Durvasa.
Yeah, Durvasa Muni. Very good, Prabhu. Okay. Basically, there is nothing called as desirelessness. Everybody has desire. Okay. But the challenge is to dovetail it to satisfy Krishna's senses. Okay. Now, let's see how Maharaja Ambarish did that work. Okay. Can we have somebody to read Somasundram Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Please read, Prabhu.
Maharaja Ambarisha and his services. Maharaja Ambarisha always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna, his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples and Krishna's places, like Mathura and Vrindavana. He engaged his senses of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulasi offered to the Lord. And he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasada. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So Maharaja Ambarisha engaged all his senses in Krishna's service. So there is nothing called as desirelessness. We also can do this. Certain things we can do once in a week when we go to temple, and a lot of it we can do every day in our home. Okay, transcendental consciousness. Okay, next. Can we have somebody to read for us? Okay, we have to go back all the way up again. Ganesha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. This question implies how the intelligence and words respond to affection, anger, and neutrality. Answer: equipoised in happiness and distress, free from attachment, fear, and anger, unaffected by good and evil, and firmly fixed in perfect knowledge.
Okay, thanks, Prabhu. Prabhu, do you have Bhagavad Gita with you?
Not now, currently, miss.
Okay, who has Bhagavad Gita? Sivaranjani Mataji?
I have, Mataji.
Mataji, I need your help to read this verse 2.56.
Okay. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and one who is free from attachment, fear, and anger is called a sage of steady mind.
Okay, and 57.
In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge.
Very good. Thank you, Madhavi. So this is what we explained earlier. Your steadiness when there is happiness, and when you're not disturbed when there is misery. This person is called a sage of steady mind. And such a person is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. So let's try and see. Okay, if you find yourself not too elated when you are so happy, is something to be happy about, then you know that you are fixed. So if you keep doing this, so Insha Krishna, so hopefully even if there is reversals in life, we will be able to see things more calmly. Okay, we know distress and happiness will come and go. Just like happiness is not temporary, distress is also, just like happiness is temporary, distress is also temporary. Okay. All right. So this is about how does the person react to situation, high situation and low situation. Okay. So this is about speaking, yeah. All right. Next, how does he sit? This question is actually referring to how he restrains his senses and mentality. So if you look at the tortoise, it uses its limbs to walk, but whenever there is a threat, it withdraws everything inside. Okay, so similarly, we are to use our senses only for Krishna service. If no engagement on Krishna's conscious services, then we have to keep our senses in control. Okay, and how do we control? Based on higher taste. So we are no more attached to things are not so lower taste, things that are very material. We will gradually develop detachment to that taste, and then we want to attach ourselves to higher taste, more prasada, more devotional activities, more reading, more hearing, more praying, more seeking association from devotees or spiritual people. So you are actually developing higher taste. So this is how he sits. Okay, this is all about withdrawal. Okay, tortoise and devotee implies to keep senses always in service of Lord and withdraw the senses when not required. Okay, next. Okay, higher taste done already. The last one, walk. First was okay. Can I ask what is that 4 questions that Arjuna asked? What's the first question Arjuna asked? He asked for
How is talking?
okay, how does he speak? All right.
Symptoms.
Yes, symptom first. Yes. Okay.
How does he sit?
Sit. Symptom, speak, sit, and walk. Okay, so we are on the 4th one. Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone. All right, so the answer is while engaging his senses, he does it with regulation and religious principles. Okay, let's see this one. Why there's a ship here. So what happens if you do not control the senses? Okay, so we will be like a boat being pushed by the wind. The wind pushes to the left, we go to the left. The wind pushes to the right, we sway to the right. So if we do not have this control in engaging our senses, like our senses are just there, hanging. So if it's not engaged, then we will sway left, sway right, like that. Okay, so this is the example of the ship. All right, and then next is a woman dancing in the front of a yogi, but the yogi is not disturbed because his senses are engaged. He knows where his mind is to be fixed. So he is not agitated. Okay, so this one is a picture of Sage Vishwamitra taking Lord Ram and Lord Lakshman into the forest. So they were actually using their senses to serve the Guru in the service of saintly person. So we can actually do this also. So if we are not engaged our senses in serving Krishna or God directly, okay, we can serve the saintly persons. We can seek their association and serve them. Okay, so it does not mean that we do not have sense or senseless or desireless. It's all about transcendental consciousness. Okay. The consciousness has to be tweaked. Next, text 72. This should be the last verse for chapter 2. Who wants to do the reading? Is anyone has not gotten a chance to read? Would you like to read now? I hope I didn't miss any names. I think Shashireka Mataji didn't get a chance yet. I don't know. Mataji, are you there? Okay, anybody else? Saras Mataji, would you like to? Okay, Lakshmi Mataji. Saw you unmuting.
Text 72. That is the way of the spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. If one is thus situated even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So this is the conclusion. Krishna is concluding the question that Arjuna asked. How does he walk? So Krishna concludes also the entire chapter 2 with a brief summary. Okay, so this is a test to see whether we can fix our mind on Krishna at the time of death and go back to Krishna. Okay, so we move here. Last slide, reading. So I think this is okay, right? This is a conclusion. After achieving that state, this person is not bewildered. And when his mind is fixed at the time of death, he can enter the kingdom of God. So basically, Krishna has summarized this. But actually, this one line, right, Krishna expanded in chapter 8, which we will see later. Of course, you already saw in level 1. Okay, can we have somebody to read this slide, these both paragraphs? Anybody would like to do the service, please? No one? Yes, Kritika Mataji.
Maharaj Parikshit asked, "You are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you to show the way of perfection for all persons, and especially for one who is about to die." Sukadeva Goswami answered, "The highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life."
Yes, okay, thank you, Mataji. So this is about perfection of life and what's going to happen at the end of life. That is very important. So Parikshit Maharaj is seeking, is receiving knowledge from Sukadeva Goswami. Okay. All right, so that's it. And this is what we have covered in the last 2 classes. Okay. What is this? Okay, yeah, this is today's class, yeah, okay. So Buddhi Yoga means engaging our intelligence on non-reactive path, which means we are executing our work, activities, and duties, but we are not claiming the result. So this way, it will relieve us from the bondage of that work, okay? So we will not get reactions, sinful reactions or pious reaction, we will not get it. And then Krishna talked about how a self-realized soul will behave, right? The symptoms and characteristics, how he speaks, how he sits, how he walks. When without developing a higher taste, there is no other effective means to control the senses. Okay, I always give this example that, if a child is having a very dangerous thing in his hand, okay, how do you want to save the child? Not by just grabbing it away, by giving it something more safe to play, something better palatable things for him to play with. Okay, that's how you can save the child from being harmed by that, whatever harmful thing that he has in his hand. So it's always like that. Okay. Attaining status or divine life or Krishna consciousness. Devotion service is not different from being in spiritual world. So whatever activities that is happening there, we can replicate here. So that is why it says that feeling of liberation we can even achieve while we are living on this material planet. Okay, so devotion service is the liberated stage. Okay, so when it comes to the transcendental consciousness, you can remember how a tortoise will behave. It will move its limbs when it needs to perform work. If it is not required, then it will withdraw the senses. Okay, I hope that's all right so far. Next week, we are going into Karma Yoga. So this chapter 2 and chapter 3, right, it may seem heavy because Krishna crams all the knowledge inside here. So that is why chapter 2 has broken into 2. So please come for next week's class. Okay, so if not, we're going to miss a very important segment of Bhagavad Gita, most important chapter 2 and chapter 3. Because after that, it's all expansions, conversations, seeking clarification through question and answers. Okay, that's it. And I wish, and I hope, and I pray, and I beg everyone to have a Bhagavad Gita on your own. Have one Bhagavad Gita on your own. And if you want, I can also arrange for you to have a chanting beads and a chanting bag. Okay. Right. So those who don't have Bhagavad Gita as it is, please get one as soon as possible. We will be using it. And it's important for you also to look at the Bhagavad Gita, the real hard copy in your hand. You know, it makes a lot of difference. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Any questions? Thank you so much, Mataji, for your support, understanding, tolerance. Yeah,
Yes, Mataji, I've got a question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, according to the Kuru and the Lord's agreement, whoever dies in the land of Kurukshetra, they will go to heaven. So, according to Krishna, his fifth, the indecision, sesti, according to that, he wasn't sure whether to conquer or to be conquered.
Okay.
That was his indecision. So,
Arjuna, yeah.
according to text 37, either you be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. So, according to me, correct me if I'm wrong, attain the heavenly planets is better than enjoying the earthly kingdom. What would have happened if Krishna died on the battlefield?
Krishna?
Sorry, Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Would he have gone to the heaven?
Yes, yes. That is the Karma Kanda objective.
Even if he's not fighting, he just, because of his indecision, he didn't want to fight, he didn't want to conquer, he just be killed. Would he go to heaven?
Krishna, number one, Krishna is asking Arjuna not to renounce his duty. You fight. So when you fight, you have two results. You are killed, or you win. Remember the chart that I showed last week? There's always two probabilities, whether you want to fight or you don't want to fight. If you fight, either you win, or either you win or you lose or be killed. When you are killed, you go to heavenly planets, you enjoy your pious credits. When you win, you enjoy the earthly kingdom. So in no way Krishna says, Arjuna, do not fight and be killed. It's not like that. But that was Arjuna's decision. He wants to be killed without a fight.
But according to the agreement of Kuru, they didn't say they must fight and then die, then only they go to heaven. Anybody who dies in the battlefield, they will go to heaven, right?
Okay. So for Kuru's point from Kuru's deal is whoever dies on the battlefield, they'll go to heavenly planet. But to Krishna, it's better that you fight and die and you will still go to heavenly planets. So here Krishna's instruction supersedes. Maybe Kuru's deal is just subset, but the whole idea of us being dying on the battlefield is with performing the duty. So maybe
you mean to say,
can still die without putting up a fight. He will still go to heaven. But Arjuna, Krishna's point is, what will people say if you flee the battlefield or you die without putting up a fight? People will talk bad about you, and people will follow great, the great leaders who set example, the common people will follow. So that will come into effect. So Krishna doesn't want that. So he said, whether you die or not, you have to fight. That is what Krishna is telling.
But Mataji, is what other people feel or think, is it important to us? Rather than our main ultimate aim is going to heaven, right? That is what we are struggling. Our ultimate aim is going to the heavenly planet. What others feel, what others think, is it really matter to us?
According to Krishna in text 34, people will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Now, because Krishna is standing next to Arjuna, Krishna doesn't want Arjuna to be put in that situation. That's number one. And number two, it's back to the example great leaders should perform so that the common man will follow. If Arjuna flee the battlefield, or if he dies without putting up a fight, then in future, people might just take that step by not fighting. So Krishna doesn't want that as well. Krishna's concern is how people will look at it and they will follow Arjuna's footsteps. Is it okay, Prabhu?
Okay, Mataji.
Okay, so you can PM me if you still have some ambiguity there. But I think generally, yes, whoever dies there will go to heaven. But for Arjuna's case, Krishna's instruction is separate, is different. Krishna already put a plan for this to happen, and he has chosen Arjuna to perform that work. He has chosen him as an instrument. So that's the goal for Arjuna. Okay, Prabhu. So let's say you are a leader in something, you are in a leader something, but you don't want to go into trouble. Okay, so you want to withdraw yourself. So probably you have some anak buah also might think, okay, my leader has withdrawn himself because he doesn't want to fight. So is justice served in that way? Did you fight for your rights? So we can look at it that way, Prabhu. So we can always think that I don't mind what people think about me, but is that your duty? What is your duty? Your duty is to execute your work or withdraw because you don't want to offend anyone. So this is the junction, this is the dilemma that we all also will have. You want to please others, please us, or do the duty. That is our call.
Mataji, if you compare this scenario with what is happening now in Russia and Ukraine, how do you see this scenario?
Okay, they are
Can we justify? Sorry, Mataji.
They are actually fighting for resources, right, Prabhu?
Actually, Russia is
Mataji.
fighting.
Yes, Vijay Prabhu.
Actually, the war between Russia and also Ukraine, actually, there's a problem with the border. Actually, the border because Russia, they don't want to act, they don't want the NATO, which is the European army, to expand until they are in front border. And Ukraine is the highest scale of kilometers that's the share border from between Russia and also Ukraine. So if they don't want until they don't want the NATO army in front of their doorstep. If once they open the door, they will for sure it's got NATO army in front of their doorstep. That is, which is Ukraine. So they don't want to. They already won the issue. They already won the Ukraine and also European that don't spread your NATO army until in front of my doorstep. So they still doing. So that's the reason. With no choice, they want to attack the Ukraine. They don't want the European army, which is the NATO army, in front of their doorstep, just for their own purpose, for their own safety.
So they have
it's a threat for the country, for the people. Yeah.
And just now, like Mr. Somasundaram said, I also want to ask about it also. If, for example, about the Kurukshetra Yuddha, because of Dronacharya, even though they are Dronacharya, Bhishma, also they are part of the, just because they are part of the Adharma, they decide with Duryodhan, they also considered as Adharmi also, right? So there's no wrong if we attack them and kill them in the battlefield also, right?
Yes.
Because they stand with the Dharma. So which means the point is even our loved one also start to against us, even the people, if compared for nowadays, just because there are people in Ukraine, but the problem is the people also support the government. So which means there's no wrong because to attack it, right?
Yeah, it looks like that, right, Prabhu, if you want to apply that. Yeah. But of course, in this case, all the peaceful peaceful discussion have been exhausted. If it is not, then it will be unfair. But I think they have done all their discussion, like you mentioned just now, right? So they are still adamant.
They already warned the Ukrainian government for many times, because they don't want the threat until in front of the doorstep. When the things being so far, that's the reason why they attack. Because in 2017, during that time, the Ukrainian soldiers already killed 15,000 Russians ethnic group in Ukraine, which is lessly known by people. So they already get, that's the reason why he put the Russian president attacked Crimea in 2017.
Wow.
So now they are just because now they bringing so far, now the Ukraine government decide to join NATO. That's the reason Russia, they attack Ukraine, the entire Ukraine. So in that matter, when we compare this with Kurukshetra, which means already warned them, but they still attack, which means there's no can it consider as a dharma also, right? If right, even because to protect their own people, for the Russian people, they want to protect their own people to protect their country. So they attack another country because even though they want it, so it's just right or wrong when we compare what happened now, compare with Kurukshetra and during Krishna's time. Because Krishna also asked for negotiation in the first place with Kauravas, right? Asking for at least give 5 villages.
Correct. Yes, Prabhu. So the government has the responsibility to protect its people.
That's it.
Somasundar Prabhu, any comments? Prabhu, are you there?
Sorry, Mataji. No, I agree with what the explanation given by Dasaratha Prabhu.
Vijay Prabhu.
So I too have the same. When we compare with the Kurukshetra war, if this is that was a righteous thing to do. So I too agree with Putin to some extent, but I don't have a very clear picture. Is it really dharma, or because there are so many lives involved? But we also deal with the other thing, like it's only a physical body. We are not killing the soul. So in that angle, what Putin is doing for the country, for the people, may be justified.
Actually, I don't see any dharma in today's war, basically, because we are comparing with the Battle of Kurukshetra, where great personalities were there, and the activity, the way they launched the wars and everything based on some rules and regulations. But here it's a little whimsical. But if you're looking just in that context, then the government has the responsibility to protect, despite giving the warnings and everything. So I think it is inevitable. They have to defend. In this case, they have to attack to defend, something like that.
No, even if we see in Kurukshetra war, they didn't follow the rules of the war completely. Yeah. So for example, when Krishna got down to repair his chariot, he was killed. Was it the right thing to do? I'm not very sure. I may be wrong. So even in this war, in the Great War of Kurukshetra, I'm not sure whether it was 100% a correct thing was done throughout the war. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Mataji.
Okay, we can check on that, Prabhu. This is going into Mahabharata already, right?
Yeah.
So we may have a better expert on Mahabharata on this. So your question is when Karna was killed when he was not prepared, is it? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. That is my understanding. Maybe somebody can come in. Dasaratha Prabhu, you can add on.
Actually, Vijay Prabhu was talking. Dasaratha Prabhu is not here. Yeah, he's there. But just now, Vijay Prabhu was talking.
Vijay Prabhu, maybe.
Definitely, there's lesson behind this, Prabhu. Vijay Prabhu, do you know anything on this?
But what, Mataji?
The significance behind the fact that Karnan was attacked when he was not prepared.
Because that one is due to his curse, because he's been cursed by some sage, by a sage. He accidentally, when he go for hunting, he accidentally killed a cow. From there, he got cursed that you'll be killed when your chariot will stuck on a mud, and that time he'll be get killed because he got around 6 curses, I guess. He got not cursed, but actually he got so many disadvantages already. The first one, he got killed because of the first curse given by the sage. The main curse was his chariot will be stuck on the mud.
No, but if we see the rules of the war, without looking at the curse, is it a righteous thing to do during the war?
But the curse also, but at the point when we connecting the dots, there's reason why when I start, if I'm right, I studied that he'll get killed when his chariot stuck on the mud. That's how the curse worked.
So it has to happen in such a way that he will be killed.
Yeah,
Otherwise, he
it's
will
a
not be able
pre-plan.
to be killed.
Yeah, pre-plan as what I saw, as from what I'm seeing. But I know the story because of the sage curse him, curse Karna like this. So when I see from my point of view, I am seeing that it's like connecting the dots. So which means it's already planned earlier. This is how we should done.
Okay, so I guess all is fair in love and war. Is it like that? But what I know is that they were fighting during the daytime, and at the night time they were visiting each other's tents and they were still talking. So it's a bit difficult, this war topic. Okay, we have a question here.
Mataji,
Yeah, I'm trying to read your comment here. War, women,
Mataji?
kids are also affected. Your comments here, right, Prabhu, in the chat box?
Yeah, Mataji.
Yeah, actually,
In the
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
Kurukshetra war,
Yes,
the ladies and also the women was not involved in the fight.
Mm.
And the war was between great personalities like Bhishma, Bhima, and all was there, right?
Yes.
Dronacharya was all fighting the war, where they possess immense power. And they were not involved, the kids and the ladies were not involved there. But in Russia and Ukraine war, there is many allegations that these kids are, and also these women are also affected the war. So there is no dharma in the war already. What?
Yeah,
So
it's
definitely this can be a reason to take where it's not a good war, a good fair war.
yeah, it's never we can never equate the modern age war to what happened in Kurukshetra, because that was happened face to face, where the elders not allowed, even King Dasaratha didn't go to the war. So women are left, kids are not taken in. Okay, so here the war itself is unjust. The war itself is unjust. So we are looking, the conversation between Vijay Prabhu and Somasundar Prabhu is about the war that's happening, that's already
When it comes to
inevitable.
Karna, as just enlighten me if I'm wrong, Mataji. Karna was a very great warrior where he had possessed a lot of immense powers also. But Lord Krishna knew that to kill him, that is the only way.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was saying.
Karna stood at the wrong side, basically. He was standing at the wrong side. So when the side is wrong, he has to fight no matter who is it, right? Dharma has to win. So that's how I see it. Just correct me if I'm wrong, Mataji.
Yeah, I think if you want to discuss, right, there's also argument about how Lord Rama killed Bali. It's also, they say it's unjust, but people say because it is taken as a hunting. So therefore, that rule is not applied.
I've read about that story of Lord Rama also, where Vali, when there was this war, the first one who came and asked for the help was his brother, right? So he has to fight Vali. So if there will be a confusion where if Vali also surrendered to him, then he has to choose a person to stand for. So he didn't want to put himself at the wrong side. I mean, to put in that difficult situation. That's what I read, Taji. Not very sure. So
there is always an explanation behind it.
reason, yeah.
But we cannot equate this to the modern world war, because they are not fighting face to face. Is the king standing in front and fighting? No, the king is sitting in the aircon room and just watching it on the live TV. So in the first place, why the war itself is fighting for resources, fighting for country, fighting for border, right?
I agree, Mataji.
But
the-
nowadays the different already, different story already, because those days and nowadays is very, very different, the law and order. So we can't compare the both days, but when we know that we can't compare those days rules and also nowadays rules, is we can't compare it. But because they are political, those days and nowadays is different. So we can't compare it. But the purpose, because we nowadays, yeah, women and children been affected. But of course, even after there are so many wars happen already for centuries, they still that the things nowadays in war is common. That's the reason people don't want war to, even for the maximum effort, they want to avoid the war. But fate, because of fate, is happened. So we can't compare those days and nowadays the war. But the reason is important, right, Mataji? Because we not want to know what's the reason. If the reason is the dharma or adharma, that's the reason. That's
Correct.
one.
I'm sure the opponent party would know if we do not heed to their suggestions or not follow settle it in an amicable way, what will be the impact? They're gonna launch an attack, our women and children will die. I'm sure they would have thought about that, right? So if they really cared, something could have been done, right? So if you watch the Oppenheimer, is also like that, right? They have actually sent warning to Japan that they're gonna bomb, right? They send the warning already, but they did not heed to that warning or whatsoever. So that happened, right? But what happens? He still feels guilty for that that creation that he did. So I think it could have been avoided if they have spoken about it nicely. But I think one party is stubborn, one party is ego. It's because of that only, Prabhu.
Got limit for everything, so hence have the war.
Prabhu?
There's a limit for everything. If they are not tolerant, even though we tolerate as much, if they don't want to tolerate, then we have to do what is necessary.
Yeah, then whatever it is, they have to bear the karmic reactions. That's it. So I think it's very difficult to come to a conclusion on this, because innocent people are affected, right? So the government should have responsibility over the people, and
Need to ask people who are very expert in Mahabharata or not.
Yeah, that's true. So we
or
are
not,
sticking
we can't
to
get a clear answer for this.
That's true, Prabhu. Okay, thank you so much for everyone's
Thank you,
comment.
Mataji.
Okay, good night, everyone. Hare Krishna.